Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. First and foremost, my name is Lamar Blewett, and I'm a self-published author and an investor. Today I would just like to share intellectual property and just show you guys a little bit of my creation as well. This book here is a self-help book that I published a year ago, just speaking of motivation, inspiration, kind of explains about mental awareness and things like that, When it comes to being, resilient, and actually going through a lot of trauma, in our lives, we kind of like go through a lot of depression and, mental illness and stuff like that. I know I went through that as well, went through a lot of tough stuff growing up. And yeah, I was able to just, mentally grow myself, and kind of go through resilience and everything. And do the things I love doing, and just follow my dream and my passion and my goals to continue to create and inspire other people. Not only that, I'm also an investor as well, and when I mean investing, is intellectual property is important. And I was able to create a platform, me and my business partner, as well, as far as teaching people how to start investing money into the currency trading, things like that, as far as stocks, bonds, mutual funds, shares, trading commodities, just those things to understand the way money works and stuff like that. But yeah, it's definitely important just to go after your goals and create, do the things that you love doing and invest in yourself, just always be prepared, So yeah, that's pretty much what I want to share with you guys about, kind of speak on that as well. Not only that, I have this cool guy here, which is our brand. So this is Tim Ratney. So this is internet spelled backwards, and the reason why we kind of came up with Tim Ratney is to start our own online store, pretty much like Amazon. So you can find our products, my products and platform on Tim Ratney as well. So it's like the new Amazon, pretty much. Yeah, so yeah, that's about it with my story for you guys that I like to share. So that's about it. That's it.
Hold on, we gotta wait for questions to
Time for
answer.
questions now.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll go ahead and start the questions. Tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get into wealth management and intellectual property stuff?
Well, first and foremost, that's a great question you asked too. I was in military school when I was 18 years old, and yeah, what I've learned being in military school is just self-discipline. Again, kind of just focusing on mental awareness, things like that. So I was able to kind of get more into personal development, kind of read more books and stuff like that, and just writing a lot. Studying other successful people and, surrounding myself with great mentors and stuff like that, which, again, kind of made me tap more into my passion, as far as writing and everything like that, and understanding how money works. Reading one of the best books that I've read kind of changed my life as well is from Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, when he kind of, explains about cash flow and, the cash flow quadrant and everything. So that's pretty much where kind of, enlightened me on this path also. Any other questions, guys? Sure.
Tell us a little bit more about your background and the inspiration for the book on why you decided to write it.
Okay, thank you, Bass. Well, when I grew up in Chicago, I had a sick mother. Was actually diagnosed with thyroid cancer. So she passed away when I was 15 years old. I was young, and it's just actually going through that, kind of made me realize, trauma and what resilience is all about again, with that. So, and when I was growing up in Chicago in a rough neighborhood, South Side, it was just tough, for you know, young African Americans kind of, you know, being involved with street activity, you know, gang crime affiliated, stuff like that, kind of made me just, you know, just seeing all that stuff just made me, you know, wanting to tap more into myself, you know, as far as with my passions and everything, you know, the things that I am good at, and you know what makes me feel good about myself and other people, you know. So just going through a lot of trauma, you know, resilience, and seeing my two sisters suffer from a chronic illness as well. On top of that, sickle cell anemia, you know. So just a lot of that stuff made me who I am, and you know, just move forward with life. So it's pretty much that. Yeah, so just have to do it.
Hey, kudos to you. Great inspiration, and also in the book. How do you see moving forward? Where do you want to be, and how are you going to use the internet and social media to get there? Where do you want to go, and how do you want to get there?
Thank you. Oh, that's another great question there. I've got into social media, you know, marketing back in 2014, and you know, I pretty much, the way I use social media now is to kind of inspire other people. You know, just you know, being a motivational, inspirational influencer. You know, to just explain it to other people that don't give up. You know, there's always you know, light at the end of the dark tunnel. You know, and just understand that it, you know, it takes self-awareness, self-mastery, and stuff like that also. You know, and like I mentioned, what I explained in my book a lot is self-mastery. You know, and again, mental awareness. You know, so those things combined itself just, you know, just made me just continue just to move forward and being tenacious.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I heard you mention something when you began about intellectual property. How does that work in with the other things you do?
Yeah, so far as intellectual property, you know, I compare those two with creation, but when I speak on intellectual property, is a skill set that you can keep for the rest of your life, and you know, to be able to kind of utilize it, you know, as a vehicle to invest in other things that you love to do. You know, so this is why investing into like trading, or you know, into real estate assets and stuff, you can kind of utilize that cash flow just to, you know, to actually invest into your dreams and passions, and you know, and other people.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Thank you as well. Yes, ma'am.
Can you talk a little bit about your kind of, to my understanding, you do a little bit of wealth management, helping people think through like their investments. Can you talk about exactly what services you offer in that field?
Okay. Now, as far as wealth management, we have a platform. It's called Financial Alchemy Pro, and it's an online trading platform. You know, pretty much it's like with brokers and stuff like that. Trading like the major banks. You know, the way they trade and make money. Yeah, that's pretty much the platform that we have as far as wealth management. So another thing that I've gotten into was a sacred account. You know, kind of partnered up with some financial advisors on that, and just teaching us how to save money just to get out of debt. You know, pretty much, and yeah, just compound interest, you know, and things like that, because the key is to get out of debt. So that's pretty much where our wealth management and everything is going, just to get out of debt.
So what brought you to Iowa City?
My dad was in the Army, and he came here first after he was out of the service. And what made me want to come here a lot is a lot of entrepreneurs. Like I mentioned, I've been to New York. It kind of reminds me of New York just a little bit, certain parts of New York, because of the entrepreneurs and other writers and actors and, you know, stuff like that, people in those industries. But I see a lot of entrepreneurs here, and I've always wanted to collaborate more with other entrepreneurs and stuff. You know, people that have, you know, goals and creative things going on with themselves, you know, kind of express themselves. So, which brought me here to Iowa City.
I I didn't catch, are you currently living in Iowa City?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Yeah, I just moved, been here for a few months now, 6 months. You know, so still getting used to the atmosphere. You know, yeah, you know, it's yeah, you know, it's kind of like staying in Chicago. You know, it gets real cold here. I see. You know, compared to Chicago. First time experience black ice. You know, kind of dancing on the black ice. You know, it's fun. You know, so yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
Can you tell us about, do you have just one book? How many books do you have self-published?
Well, my other book is kind of, well, I have my success book, Why Successful People Become Successful and Why Others Don't, published, and then my other book, Shy Life, Urban Intelligence, is kind of being reconstructed right now, and that will be on Amazon soon once that's finished. So that's more of an urban novel. Yeah, pretty much, and I'm right now I'm currently writing other things, so yeah, that's about it for now, as far as now.
If you had one key takeaway from your book, what would it be? Why?
One key takeaway from my book,
Biggest takeaway?
the biggest takeaway.
Yes.
Biggest takeaway
Like if I were reading it, what's the one thing I should learn?
that you should learn.
Yes.
Let's see, expectations. I speak a lot on expectation. Don't expect too much. You know, don't have too much high expectations with things in life, and understanding patience. You know, it's part of the process. You know, it takes time for everything, you know, to happen, kind of take off in effect. So that's pretty much the take back what I speak about. Yeah, so pretty cool. It's another thing too, as far as, again, you know, for anyone that is going through mental awareness, you know, things like that, you know, you wanna make sure that you always surround yourself with positive people, you know, people that is like on a upper level, you know, things like that, you know, kind of went through a lot of experience with life itself, and that is loving what they're doing, you know, as far as chasing their dreams or passion or work, school related stuff. You know, you always want to surround yourself with those individuals and, you know, seek out, you know, for advice or help, you know, kind of, you know, have someone to talk to, like a life coach or something like that, you know. So it's pretty much, it's another takeaway in my book that I speak on as well.
I guess coming off of that, who would you consider your mentors?
You guys, my mentors, right? As well. And when I say that, because, you know, we all are creators, you know, in our own way. We have the ability to create, and we all have something to teach someone. And, you know, we can learn from everyone, you know, pretty much in here. My parents, you know, they're like my mentors and stuff, you know, always kind of been on me about discipline and, you know, again, mental awareness and being genuine. You know, my authors, there's other authors out there that I know, you know, that are my mentors, you know, a lot of financial advisors and stuff, teachers, you know, some college students that I look up to this day that are like my mentors, so. That's me.
I've got a question. What's your moon shoot? What's the big vision, maybe like the 50-year plan that where you would like to take the work that you're doing? What does that dream look like for you when it's complete?
That's great. Now, this might sound cliche, right? Well, I've met a guy named, he's a Hollywood producer named Dave Schneider in the Dr. Dre film, the movie Straight Outta Compton. Kind of talked to him, and he kind of helped me a lot as far as getting like more into screenwriting and everything like that. So I want to take everything that I pretty much talk about and share it to the screen, you know, to the big screen.
Doesn't sound far-fetched. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, you know, so pretty much, yeah, with, you know, Hollywood and industry. Yeah, that's pretty much why I'm headed with everything now.
Who will play you?
Huh?
What actor will play you?
What actor will play me?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody said somebody, I don't know, someone like this said I kind of favor some actor. I can't remember who it was, but an actor that played me is that British. I can't remember his name. It's like a British guy, some British guy. He's like a dark-skinned British guy. He's been in a lot of movies. Huh?
Rowan Atkins? Mr. Bean?
Trying to see what movie he was. What movie he was in? He was in. Believe it's is it Blood Diamond? No, is it Taken? Oh, I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember. He's been in a lot of movies. I just can't remember. Yeah, it's so much movies. But yeah, I'll allow him to kind of play me. Trying to think of his name. It might come back to me later. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Yeah, I know you. Someone else had a question.
I was gonna ask some more questions. So I'm just trying to understand, like, is your main passion when you say writing and like the wealth and the other aspects a little bit kind of a side thing? Is that like you wanna go in the direction of writing?
Yeah. So writing and storytelling is always something that I've always been doing ever since I was a kid. Wealth management is something that is important to me, because I used to study, finances and stuff. Kind of like taught myself that just by reading and everything and learning a lot from other people. But I know that it is important to understand, the cash flow quadrant, you want to say. Yeah, just to always be secured and, credit-wise and everything.
So, I mean, it sounds like you've been around a lot of people who struggle with health issues in their lives. What financial advice would you give to them? Would it be the same kind of advice that you give to somebody who's chronically struggling with health issues as somebody who's able to work 40 hours a week? Like, do you tailor your message to the individual?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
So I have two sisters with sickle cell anemia, and my advice that I give my younger sister, because she works also, she likes to work and stuff, but I let her know, like, don't work too hard with things. Her passion is babysitting and counseling, like kind of like social worker. So that's something that she's like that's something that she's looking into. So with that, even if you're working a 9 to 5, if you have other things that you have going on, as far as, again, business, working from home or creation, is we work from 9 to 5, but what are you doing with the rest of the time that you have? So, like, for an example, what are you doing from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m., pretty much, right? And, just to, as far as health-wise, to make sure that you balance a strict diet, that's pretty much, like, because I know our schedule kind of gets in the way of like exercising and doing proper things, meditation, whatever that helps, but you just want to be as busy as possible, so you won't kind of get distracted or, overwhelmed or discouraged. So what I'm trying to say is so you won't feel like discouraged on like, because you have a mental, you have a sickness, anything going on, you still want to be able to know that you have other things that's important, right in front of you. That's pretty much my advice I can give to you. I don't try to come off too militant, but it's like we got to keep moving, we got to keep moving forward no matter what. And that's pretty much what I do with my sisters. I try to be tough on them so they won't kind of go into that dark, place, just because they have a chronic illness or, disease. Yeah, just explain to them they're normal like everyone else. So. Yes, ma'am.
I had a question that was similar to that, but it's interesting because when you talk about the work that you do in wealth management, when I think of wealth management, I think of spreadsheets and numbers and, very, very business related. But then you have this whole other aspect about mental health awareness. And I guess, maybe it's more common than a question, But I think it's interesting that you're able to combine those two things and maybe advise people, not just on, you know, their existing wealth and where they should invest and things like that, but almost pay more attention to their lifestyle and their mental health in order to improve their, you know,
Yeah,
financial stability and things like that.
that's
Is that
that's
a correct
exactly
statement?
right on point, yeah. Thank you.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's right on point with that. Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything that you're like struggling with or barriers that you're facing to help you grow your business right now?
Well, I'm on LinkedIn right now too, right? So I'm on like 4 different social media platforms. My thing is actually connected more with people on LinkedIn, pretty much. You know, kind of like went through the Facebook, Instagram, all that whole 9 yards. It's just the it's like with writing, is to collab with more you know, writers. You know, just to get together and kind of write. You know, like write a film or anything. You know, another novel, stuff like that. That's pretty much where I'm like heading now. You know, with that, and you know, most people don't like writing too much. You know, or expressing that other side of them. So that's pretty much where I'm at now. Just collaborating with other writers.
Have you found any writing groups here that you've joined, or are you still looking for that?
I found 2 writing groups here, actually, at the writers' workshop here, down here, and with she's an old English teacher that I knew a long time ago. Kind of like taught my cousin here. Yeah, so we kind of do our mentoring and stuff together. With
Can I
creative.
suggest a group?
Yes.
Just go online and search them out. It's called The Writer's House.
Yeah.
And they have lots of interesting programming. They bring in professional or, you know, people, accomplished authors. They run workshops. People just get together and do certain writing. There's like a stimulus and people write together and they work on each other. You need to engage there.
Wow.
And you will get a lot out of it, I think.
Wow. Thank you. Yeah, I'll definitely write that down so I won't forget. The writer's house,
The
right?
Writer's House.
Yeah,
in Iowa City, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that too as well. I appreciate that too. Yeah. So that's.
Yeah, I was listening, you're very young and you have diverse interests and it's quite interesting. And yeah, you were talking before that, you know, you learn a lot of things from the mentors, but I think also sometimes it's, you know, we learn also from the strangers.
Yeah.
And what's the most important lesson that you have learned from a stranger that you have occasionally with this without?
What I've learned from a stranger, pretty much.
Through someone that not necessarily is part of your
Oh,
daily friends or daily.
well, pretty much recently met an individual. He was real sick, you know, himself, and he was the main reason why, you know, he brought mental awareness and kind of suffering with sicknesses and stuff to my attention. But not only did I have 2 sisters, you know, with illness, but he always told me, because he almost like, you know, he was so bad, like he was going through a lot. You know, he almost died and stuff. So he's here to this day. But what that told me was, wow, just continue just to, again, you know, embrace, you know, love the things that you do and just work on a strict diet. So that's the thing that a stranger taught me, was to kind of focus on my, you know, goals and my dreams, you know, passions and everything, but also focus on my mental awareness as well. So that's something that stood out to me the most, you know, and, you know, he was younger than I were, you know, he's younger than I am, so he was able to tell me that, so it kind of inspired me also. Some random guy, like I met him down here somewhere actually, and he told me that, so, you know, that just stuck with me to this day. Yeah, so.
If there are no more questions, I can ask the final question. We have a traditional final question here. What can we do as a community to help you?
As a community, so So I was thinking, right, to actually have authors like when artists get together and just have like what is book club, pretty much, right? So a book club or art club, you know, stuff like that in those particular fields. You know, it's just to collaborate pretty much more, you know, because I believe collaboration is the key to prosperity, and that's something that I'm just looking more into now. So,
And how can folks get in touch with you after a program today?
well, I'm on social media, LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram. Yeah, Building Wealth Society. It's my Instagram, and on Facebook, Lamore Blewett.
And where can they get your book?
You get my book on Amazon as well. Amazon and Kindle Publishing.
Give a round of